Alrighty, what is up everybody? We are doing a different type of video here. This is for trios for the FNCS. I'm going to try to do every POI, name POI on the map, and then eventually do every like not reliable but like possible trio split that's on the map that has like a good amount of mechanical parts and all that. So we're starting off with Dirty. I think Dirty is definitely one of the best POIs in the game right now. Just because there's so much mechanical parts. It's insane how much mechanical parts. Everyone can get like a purple pump or a pump in general, and like first shot accuracy gun here easily. So the first thing we're going to talk about is if you're dropping into Dirty, what to watch out for. So most cases, either Dirty is a hot drop or it's a fire drop. Either way, you should watch out for a team that lands mini junk over here, or if a team lands spire up here. These are really your only two threats. Usually what happens is mini junk loots all this and dips, but in some cases they do cycle back and send you. And then with the spire team, they have a few options. They can either head down here and loot like all this and just go to zone, or they can take the spire and send you. So if you have Dirty Uncontested, we're going to talk about where to land within Dirty. But if you have it uncontested, don't just be running around in the open, taking shields in the open, talking to NPCs in the open and all that, because you can't get pushed by two angles. So play like somebody's there watching you. So now we're going to talk about if you're uncontested, what's the fastest loot path here. Obviously, you're going to want to split up everything. So the idea is that you want to loot this area as quick as possible. So what you can do is have one person landing back here, one person land in right here, and then another person land in basically any one of these buildings. I like to land right here. So then this player would do something like this, it's all this, and then goes and fishes over this. This player would go through here, either loot crate or just go up like this. And this player could go something like, like that. Then meet up here or meet up here and then be out. But the idea is that you want all three of your players to be split, or split apart in the POI so they can loot as many chests as possible themselves and be out, and have somebody making sure they fish over here. And there's also fishing spots over here, so maybe you could even have this initial guy. You could go here to crane to crates, come back, fish a bit, hit these two extra chests and be out. This guy can loop around here, hit all of this. Then this guy can, pick up this, loop back, be out. That's kind of the idea, because with Dirty, you have to remember, Dirty is on the far side of the map. That means in most cases you're going to have to bust that through zone, and depending on where zone is, if zone's up here, then you have a pretty good chance of rotating without seeing anybody if you go up like this. But if zone is down here, then you have a pretty good chance of seeing people, because you're just going through retail, lazy, and caddy, and like most people that are like all these people up here are going to be rotating down as well. And then if zone pulls straight across, then you either have to leave early and white line it, or also leave early, I guess, and find a way around like this. But we'll talk about where zones pull later on. Right now we're going to talk about if you're so that was uncontested. Let's say you're contested by one team. So what usually happens is if there's one team contested, let's do blue for the, let's do black for the bad, no, I don't know, let's do blue for the bad team. Usually what happens is one team takes all of this, and then another team takes all of this. It's what usually happens. This is usually the split. And what ends up happening is, obviously there's more chests on this side, so this is the side you want to be. I mean, if all the chests spawn, then you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not even including bitch or crane down here. But you have 13 chests on the side of the map. Well, here has 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have 2 more chests, but if you spent a bit more time looting here, you'd have a lot more chests. But you have more place to work from, and really where fights happen is if this team pushes in, the fight's going to happen probably right here. And if this team pushes in, the fight's either going to happen here or back here, depending on where your trio is situated. So the only downside, let's talk about the pros and cons of each. So pros of blue, you can loot, God, I'm going to be butchering it. You can loot quick, because almost all your buildings are pretty quick looting paths. So you can loot all of this pretty quick, and then you can, you know, get the jump on these guys because they're going to be split. So you're gonna have to, you know, they might have one guy here, you know, another guy here, another guy here. So you might be able to get a 3-2-1 on one of them, sneak up, etc., etc. So it's a quick loot. There's, you know, it's less loot in general, just because there's less chests. But you do have more like angles to find. I mean, this is a big building here. Clear the map here and just show just this area. So loot quick, we already saw those, but we had, I call this dick because it's like a giant, like looks like a dick. You can have one person sitting here, and you can have, you know, two trying to sneak up around here, because most times in Dirty, people don't expect people to be on this hill. This hill is almost like a mini mountain that looks over all of Dirty. So if you can get people with mechanical air on this hill, then you have basically a free beam on anybody that are holding these buildings here. But in most case scenario, what happens is they loot all this up and they push first here and then here, and then they loot through like this and send like that is the normal push for somebody that lands at blue side over here. Back and talk about if you're on this side of the map now. If you're on this side of the map, where should you land? You want to probably have one person here, and one person lands crates. This person loots up all of this and goes and assists and either mines up here with this guy, because he's going to do something like this, and then this guy that, you know, you guys all want to kind of meet up over here. The idea. There's the most mats here. There's a shit ton of pallets in this truck, and there's pallets outside, and there's wood here, and there's metal all. But there's metal all down here. That's free mats. Mats all in here. Then these metal fences give you a fair amount of mat too that are right here. But you have to remember, these guys are going to loot up quick. So you're also going to have to loot up quick. So you're going to need quick mats. Best quick mats are definitely within here. You have pallets. You have two little trailers here. And you have a bunch of metal and wood inside here. So you can really not get capped. You can get capped wood for almost all three of you of the trio. But you want to loot here and then push. So ways to push, you can either go up on the mountain like this and push inwards like that. You can go through the middle, or you can loop around like this. That's your options. For quickest results, you go through the middle. You want to take control of this building here, and ideally, you know, take control of this building, shoot at them wherever they are. If they're split, like let's say there's a teammate over here and the other two are over here, then you guys could definitely push this teammate, kill him before the other two can even get there, because this building's really far away compared to the other ones. But let's say, you know, they're like fully split, like crazy split. There's, you know, one here, one here, and one here. Well, in best case scenario, I'd push this guy here first and then work your way around, because this guy's to run straight across and this guy's to run farther as well than if you pushed either of these. Because if you push 3, then 2 can come, and if you push 2, then 3 can come. But if you push 1, 3 and 2 will take a lot longer time than all the other options. So that's breaking down if you're contested by one team. Now another thing you can do is the same split, but you also have somebody landed all the way back here. My issue with this is that when you do a split like this, this person down here is always late to the fight, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. So you have two people sharing all of this up here on your team. You know, let's say one lands here, one lands here, and they're looting up this. What you want to do is make this person have a flank on the other team that's coming in. Because if we have a team here, they're going to loot quick, remember, and they're going to push in. Oftentimes, if this team pushes and you're not ready for it, you're going to be back here, fighting here. So let's say you're mining up this team sneaks up. They don't crack you, but you know, you guys have a little standoff where they're chilling on like these buildings and you're down here like boxed up. What you can do is get the third teammate, the bitch teammate, can loop all the way around and beam this guy in the back and then switch the fight around. So if you are doing where one person lands bitch, you're going to want this person to loot quick. Okay, he's probably not going to be able to hit crane. He's just going to be able to hit these chests and then go and help you guys. And the goal is that he gets hopefully a good enough AR where he can get a beam on one of the trios over here, because they won't expect them coming from this way, and then you guys win the fight. Alright, now let's talk about you're contested by 2 teams. There's plenty of options if you're contested by 2 teams. By the way, this video is gonna be long as shit, so buckle up. So you're conned by 2 teams. Let's do blue, yellow, and pink, I guess. So let's say what ends up happening is that there's really 2 options, or well, 3 options technically. If we split dirty up, we have over here, then we have like, and we have here. But this side is kind of looped up with crates. That's kind of what happens here. So this is dirty right now, split. Let's say your team lands right here. If you're not conned at this location, you want to do 1 here, 2 here. Then the third can either try to take some of crates and like aim for this right here, or it doesn't really have to. Depends on where where the third team lands basically. Let's do something like this, and the other team does something like no, not there, something like this. So they get all this loot, you get all this, and then the final team does something where they just stack. It's all 3 over here. So what team would I think that's going to win? It depends on who fights first. If you guys fight first, if this team pushes in here and these are the 2 teams that fight first, then this team has the best chance of winning, because what they can do is they can send players up like this and wait for this fight to either just end, so where one of the team is cracked and like needs to heal, or they can just spray and third party the fuck out of this, because they're going to be on height wherever they set up. Let's say that this team pushes in too early and they loot too quick and they don't start, and they fight your team on yellow. Now you guys are fighting. This team again has a free beam on you, so they can easily kill you, or if they wanted to, they could loop all the way around and get pink. But what will probably end up happening is that this team will push into yellow territory, I guess you could say, and kill you or fight you and make your life hard in here, and then pink and you almost get pinched. So that's a downside of landing. Sorry, adjust. That's a downside of landing flopper side over here when you're conned by more than 1 team, because you're in the middle of the map, which means you can be obviously sent by either side and pinched. So let's say this is another scenario. Is what happens. It's a clusterfuck over here. We have 1, 2, and 3 landing here. Then we have 1, 2, and 3 landing over here. What do? If you hear fighting off the rip, you have 2 options. Either A, your team already has good loot, and if if you land here and this guy lands here and loots these 2 chests, and he comes pick up some scraps from you guys, and then you guys can go together to push. If these guys are fighting over here, oftentimes if there's a team that lands over here, that they're going to fight in this building. So this gives you the option of you can go up and shoot over here and shoot, or they're going to fight in this building, and where you can do the same thing and flank. That's the best case scenario if 3 teams come. Is that you right here get the third party because a team decides not to go down here and instead go and contest this team. Best case scenario for the team in the back. So that is it if you're contested with 3 people. Now let's say you're contested and it's a fucking clusterfuck. There's 4 or 5 teams, something crazy like that. So if there's 4 or 5 teams, and depends on your trio situation. Do you guys need kills, or are you guys good on kills and you just need placements? If you need placements and you don't need kills, I would just land in this side of the map, because there's still a lot of mechanical parts scattered throughout here. All around here there's mechanical parts, and there's wood, and then there's brick on the rotate out. What I would do is loot this part right here. Let me zoom out a bit. My trio, I would loot this part as soon as possible and dip to mini junk. See if you can catch somebody that's doing one of these splits over here, like the combi split. See if you can catch them out. 3, 2, 1, get a beam. Now it's a 2v3, kill them, and now you have part of dirty and the entirety of combi split, or this area, to yourselves. That's what I would do if I didn't need kills. Now if you did need kills and it's a clusterfuck, and like let's say your trio members can't land far down here. Let's say it was a hot drop, like Bust is coming this way over here, and you know he's gonna be landing here. I'd say all three land here. All three of your team lands here. Somebody can hit this chest, somebody can hit this chest. You guys can loot crates together and then push. Either that, because remember earlier, quick mats. If we look all around here, there's going to be pallets over here. There's a lot of pallets over here. That's quick mats. And look at the tree situation over here. There's a fair amount of trees here for quick mats for these people. There's a metal over here, a fuck ton of metal over here. But on the other side of the map, the quick mats are almost all right here. So you loot this, and then you be out, and you just get some mats along the way, and you push in. Another option, clusterfuck. You have a team or a person land crane, so right on top of crane, and then another two split here. You go through crates, and then you push into flopper. You have to do this quick though, and you have to be obviously be careful of anyone in flopper or in tin or that are over here. That's a clusterfuck, but really with a clusterfuck, you just want to have a plan where you guys all go either the best building or the buildings closest to each other, land together, and push outwards. Now, this is a little side note for a contested drop, but what might happen is if you land here, let's say, let's make it your team blue. You have 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, and their team is yellow, so they go 1 zipline, 2 here, 3 here. So now they have almost like this entire area. You can call them out if they land zipline, especially if the bus is coming this way. It's pretty obvious. Downside is if this guy gets an AR, he might be able to get some white tags on you. If he's on controller player, you're fucking dead. So that's the downside, really. But what you can do, depending on your drop, or if you can call this out earlier. So let's go back a bit. Let's say we have 2 and 3 here. You guys decide to go something like, you guys go 1, 2, 3. They go 1, 2, 3, like that. So what can you do? Well, you have a few options here. This guy is going to take quite a time to run down this hill and join up with his other teammate here. So what can you do? All 3 can attack this guy over here, because it'll take long for 2 to come, and it'll take even longer for 3 to come. So tons of cars around. This guy could car over, but your tin guy can definitely car over and be attacking 1 and 2, player 1 and 2, team 3 pretty quick. Now, if you're doing the zipline strat where you have 1 person land here, you have to make sure you own majority of the spot. Because what often happens, this happens a lot in arena games, a player will land here, let's do blue for the enemy, player will land here, and then their teammate will do something like this. And then my team will do something like this. And this guy here is fucked, because all we're going to do is wait for him to come down the hill. We're going to wait for him, he's going to be, and then he's get beamed here, and then we fight and kill him, and then we shake him down and go kill his teammates. But let's say this guy, instead of just hauling ass down the hill, he decides to base up over here somewhere. Now we're kind of in like a little pinch here, because if blue wants to come up and fight us, then we have this guy in the hill, spraying at us and just fucking pissing us off. And if we push him, it's going to be like a hard push, because he's already on a hill chilling, and then his teammate can get behind and pinch us. So really have to identify what this zipline guy is doing, if he's chilling up here or if he's running down, and you guys can push him. So now we're just going to talk about who can push in the dirty realistically. Realistically, the teams that can push in the dirty is only really 1. The mini junk team usually loots upwards. I think I mentioned this earlier, but the Spire team, this is like a little bit, I made a video about it, but I don't think a lot of people are going to do it, but it is an option. Somebody to hit the Spire and send dirty. That's really it for all you have to be careful for teams around, because there's no loot up here. Steamy's not going to come down. Retail's not going to come over. That's really it for teams you have to worry about. And I'll be right back, and we're going to talk about where zones go on the map and how to rotate. Alrighty, we are back with the analysis of dirty docks. This is, pretty lucky who have the dirty zone. You get dirty zone. That's good. So what you guys can do is, if contested, don't worry, you can drag out the fights because you don't have to worry now about rotating into zone because you're in zone. So you can play a lot safer if you're contested here. But more importantly, your trio can split up and actually fish. There's a fuck ton of fishing spots over here, and there's a fair amount all like over in this area here. So, let's just say you're uncontested. This guy can, loot all of this, fish. This guy could do all of this and fish, and this guy could loot up and, fish. But more importantly, in my opinion, is that if you have zone, you pretty much have the option of going wherever you want. If you're uncontested, you're gonna need surge if you're in a stacker. So obviously in this map, where on the map is gonna be fucking hot and dead. So I'd argue probably split something like this. This is hot side, that side. Kind of the idea here. So if you need surge, this is going to be a different video, but let's say you need surge, then you want to position yourself somewhere where you can catch people rotating up at. So let's just zoom in here. You want to be in a location where it's almost, if you ever watch Bizzle, Clicks, and Booga, they do this perfectly. It's like a power position, I think they call it, or surge base, whatever you want to call it. But you would loot up Dirty, and then you could go basically, like this mountain is pretty good. I don't know why. Something like, you don't want to go this mountain because you won't get any tags because no one's going to be coming in this way. It kind of have to be either, over here on this mountain, over here on the spire. You could go in more and, try to claim this entire area over here. But basically you can even go, bridge, have one person here, and just be tagging kids that are coming. A good thing about surge bases that people don't realize is that not only you can get surge from it, but you can also claim areas in the map. So let's say you have your team here on bridge. So anybody that's on this side of the map and you're tagging at them, obviously they're not going to want to be tagged, so you're going to end up funneling teams like this. Because they're not going to want to go through you. They're not going to want to go under the bridge because you're going to fucking, spray them. They're not going to want to go like over here because you're going to spray them. So you're almost going to funnel teams that if they want to get in zone or anywhere on this side of the map to the lefts and rights of you, then you can kind of conclude that like this whole area is going to be safe because you own it all. And this goes for the same if you, let's say you're on Spire Hill or you're on this hill. If you're on this hill, then you're going to funnel teams like this. This whole side of the map is going to be safe, really, if they decide to go, like, anywhere other than, like, here. But, so when you choose where to base up, you have to have in mind surge and where you can funnel people. But Dirty, if you have zone, pretty easy rotate. You just have to, think of the points of interest, where people are going to be coming from. If anybody lands up here, chances are they're going to do, like, some type of rotate like this to head towards Dirty. If they're over here, they're going to be like, okay, like here, let's do something like that. If they're coming from over here, it's gonna be like void some shit, enter in. If they're coming over here, blah blah blah. You get the point, but like something like that. So you have to find a place where almost all of these spots intertwine, so whether that's here or Spire or even over here, but somewhere where you can get free search tags. Now I'll be right back with the next zone, and this one will be a far left over here. Alrighty, we are back with the Dirty Talk analysis. We're going to be talking about far left zone. So the reason why you see so much shit here, it's going to kind of look like a clusterfuck. The idea is that you kind of want to have an idea of where all the campfires are, where you can get, small food like this, stuff like that, because the thing with Dirty is that when you're rotating to a zone like this, what will often happen, especially in this meta, is because Dirty is such a good drop now, what might happen is that you might get connected by 3 teams, and this is the zone. Obviously people don't know the zone when they drop. You get 3 teams, and it's going to be a big fight where you get third party. You're going to end up winning it, but you get third party, and by the time you're done with the fight and you're healing up, zone's like right here and it's coming in. Good chances you're going to be in storm. You could carry your way in, do something like whatever the car is to get the zone. If you have time, a good car to do is you go up. Because if you think about it, if zone's like going to be like right here closing in on you, and good chances everybody that's on this side of the map is already rotating in, unless they've been fighting. But there's a good chance that like the Pleasant team's in, these teams are already in zone, Steamy's in, you know, Craigy's in, all these teams are like just getting to zone if zone's like right here or even closer. You can almost car all the way, blah blah. You can either go up through Pleasant, enter over here, or even say fucking enter over here, like maximum dead side. Let me turn the spawns back on. But oftentimes I would find myself, if I land dirty, I am in the storm for sure. And there's nothing fun about being in the storm, and it's not like what you want to do, obviously. Let me turn on all the white heels I can find. Obviously there's gonna be animals around and stuff like that you can shoot, but they attract attention. So here's all the white heels that are on the map. You have a shit ton when you're rotating. And what often might happen is your trio might have to hit this campfire, and then you might have to run through and hit this one, and then run through and hit this one before. Or let's say you guys go up, you have to hit this campfire to this campfire to one of these campfires to one of these campfires to this campfire to in. Or if you're going all the way up over here, do something similar. You know, I have to go to here to here to here, hit the spire, go somewhere over here, and then dip in. But make sure you just have a rough idea on where, most importantly, where you can find boxes like this, fishing holes. If someone has a harpoon or a fishing rod, don't be afraid to fish in the storm. It only takes for one, you're not gonna fucking die. Well, it depends on your heals you have. Remember the campfires, you know, what is it called? Coliseum crops? What the fuck is it called? Has a lot of food. There's food on this bridge. There's food in gas station. If you get it, there's food in the spire. Just remember where all these foods could be. There's apples that spawn here, and there's slurp barrels here. Just remember where all this is, so when you do rotate anywhere, depending on zone, especially if it pulls fire, then you want to go here. Kind of the idea with power zones, especially for dirty, is that you want to end the fight soon. You know, it does suck being on the edge of storm or in storm, because that means when you enter, you're almost like always going to be, especially if like you don't have a lot of heals, you're going to probably be entering around this area. And in most cases, when zone pulls to the left, even if it goes down like this, like basically if it pulls anywhere that's like not up here, then you're going to be on the hot side of the map, especially if you're late. So there's gonna be a lot of teams here, and it's gonna be pretty fucked. But if you're in the storm, and let's say, you know, you guys have medkits and stuff, remember you guys know where all the campfires are, you might be able to loop up and tank storm just to get to, you know, dead side. So again, dirty, you have to loot and leave quick if you want to get to the middle of first zone, especially if it pulls fire. If you have zone, take your time, slow the fights down, just chill out. Then get a good position for first zone, second zone, third zone. Maybe even end up winning the game just because you just happen to be on the mountain and it keeps pulling to the mountain. If it goes up like this, the rotate's pretty easy. I won't make like a yeah, actually maybe I'll, let's say zone pulls up here. And alright, so here's zone. It's up here, you're close to it, take your time fighting. You don't need to fight quick. Usually what happens is, you know, this team is going to loot their split, whatever that might be. It's just a random one. Steamy is going to be in. Craigy almost always goes down this hill. Pleasant's going to come in. All these other teams are going to be coming in like this, like right around this area. Probably dead side, something like that. Or hot side. Dead side. Again, depending on surge, if you need surge or not, then you can decide where you want to go. I mean, power position is right here, you know, somewhere over here on top of this house, on the spire. You could go on one of the Coliseum walls over here, somewhere over here. Like, that's just an example of some power positions. So I'm going to take us in game now to the battle lab, and we're just going to run around and take a look at dirty from the in-game perspective rather than the Fortnite.gg perspective. I'll be right back with that. Alrighty, here we are back. We're at Dirty Docks now. We're in the battle lab. As you can see, this is what it will look like. That's bitch over there. This is crane. I'm assuming all of you guys have seen Dirty before, but these are the buildings you were talking about, and this is flopper. I mean, so a nice split would be, you know, one here. One, I call this tin. I call this flopper. This is crates, crane, pallet truck. You know, we have dick. Back there we have pack-a-punch. We have brick, and then behind it we have electrical. And then this building here, I just call it Shambles, because if you ever land here, then you're fucked. Anyway, let's run inside and see what we got working with here. So inside, you do have bare mats inside flopper. When you hit all these, then you get this pallets here. And here's a little tip that a lot of people do: ammo crates. You have to break everything. The ammo crates can spawn underneath here. They can spawn under here. A lot of people leave this stuff open and they miss out on a ton of ammo. That's another thing that goes about ammo or dirty, is that there's a fuck ton of ammo. You want to make sure you break all of these and break all the little wooden blocks underneath, so you can see if you missed any ammo or anything. That's with flopper. Now if we come over here, you remember I was talking about quick mats. Well, you have 3 full pallets here, and then 3 half ones in the back here. You have 3 mechanical parts just alone right here. So, you know, rotate would be out, come back through here. There is a chest that spawns up here. A good way to hit it is you just simply enter like this, break in, and you're at it. Back here, I call this tree area. There's a gun spawn right here. There's easy wood here, especially if you're pushing from a bitch like this. Chest can spawn up here, break it down like that. Another chest can spawn over here. What I like to do is break the ammo crate that's here, and then you can go up like that, enter it. Make sure you check these ammo crates, because there can be spawns back here. The ones that are open, there can be ammo crates all around here. Another good ammo crate area is up here. Break all these ammo crates down here. In here there's ammo crates. They can also spawn on top up here. Chest in there. We go over here to cranes. You have to break these to find the chest. Ton of mechanical parts. So you sit here. Break this. This will come down. There's a chest in there. If you're unconned, you might be running around here. You might hit the boat for mechanical parts. Your chest under. You can fish here. Break this. You know, get the fishing over here. Quick loot path would be you land on top. You loot the top chest. You do this one. You break down. You do all this. Mad wood here. You don't even really need any pallets anywhere else. But I mean, what is this? 4 chests that have a chance of spawning here. Pretty crazy. Mechanical parts out here to upgrade. Now run over here. There used to be a chance for a chest to spawn down here, but there isn't anymore. There's no fishing holes down here either, so don't bother fishing down here. Can't get a floor spawn or loot spawn. Now we run over to Shambles. This is called the Shambles drop. It's not that bad, to be honest. There's a chance for 1 chest to spawn here, but you can get a lot of floor spawns over here. You know, so make sure when you're running back, you're checking, you know, for these floor spawns, hitting the brick over here. Get mechanical parts, because remember tractors, this guy drops mechanical parts. Now we're running into almost the little 4 house spot. So here's a mechanical part here, full pallet, and then we go over here, I think we have another full pallet and a half pallet. The fences give like 20-ish metal per. Another pallet here. This is a pretty quick loot. This pallet's underneath, I'm pretty sure. Yep. You can loot all this pretty quick, get pretty much max wood. Then from here, you know, depending on zone or where your teammates land, you can either go into brick. I call this electrical because there's these electric here, or you can go into parking lot down here. There's a chance for a chest to spawn in here with an ammo crate, some floor spawns. Now we're running over to a pack-a-punch. I call this pack-a-punch because there used to be a little pack-a-punch thing right here. Mad mechanical parts here. I mean, look, what? Let's say 1 from here, 1 from here, 1 from here, 1 from here, 1 there, 1 here, 1 here, 1 there. So there, you can basically upgrade your shotgun here and push into before anywhere else. The quick loot, you would just loot here, break up into here, and then you would build up, break into this, and then you're looted. That can happen sometimes where your loot spawns on the outside. It's fucking annoying. Hopefully they fix it. Now let's go into Dick. Often with Dick, if you are landing here, you would land on top here, and depending on where your enemies land, so let's say you have a team landing flopper, you want to wall this off so you don't get sprayed, loot it, run into here, pop this open, break this down, jump over, break this, see if there's a chest here, loot this, then be back out, whether that's up like this or whatever. Good job. Use the reboot band right in the middle. If you're rebooting from this way after finishing a fight and there's a team over here, obviously you want to position yourself this way, vice versa. It's a very open spot. You don't really have a lot of stuff to hide around, and you have buildings surrounding you that are really high. The final place is going to be tin or spray paint. And this has chances for 2 chests, pretty easily again, just breaking these down. Gas cans do spawn here. Sometimes there'll be a gas can right over here. That's good to remember. Don't give you, these used to give you gold, good old days. This will give you a mechanical part, but this is like a pretty quick loot. That's basically all of Dirty. You have Zipline up there. If someone does land there, they can zip down more and enter Dirty from over here, or they can zip this way and enter Dirty from over there. And this is the hill I was talking about. Not a lot of people that land Dirty really utilize this hill, because if you look, it's almost the same elevation as Flopper. So if you have somebody, like if you loot all this, then you can have someone here and someone here, like someone here or something like that, and have a pretty good like angle on people. Fishing holes, there's all fishing holes all the way through here. There's a fuck ton of mechanical parts down there. Fishing holes all over here. If you don't have a rod, you can swim over here, and there's 2 fishing holes to grab, and you can grab stone and rotate the zone. So this is Dirty Docks, the analysis of Dirty Docks for Trio FNCS. The next POI we'll do, I don't really know. I don't know. I might do something like the Spire or one of the newer ones over here. And I'm doing them completely randomly, just whatever I'm feeling. Yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If I missed anything, throw in the comment. If you like this, give me a like, give me a sub. If you don't like it, drop a dislike. Tell me why, because I'm new to all of this. I'm just trying to improve and make some content and see what happens. Hope you guys enjoy, and cheers.